I'm Malcolm Vandelst, and this is an excerpt from Do the Wrong Thing, a book series or extra long novel that opens with a woman trying to kill herself. She says, I don't know why I tried to do this, and by way of explanation, tells her life story. We're about halfway through book 3. Working title is Shiny Pretty Gothic. Last week in Shiny Pretty Gothic, Damian introduced Ava to shoplifting, communism, and atheism. Then Ava had a nightmare where her mother tried to kill her. Damian and Ava are currently hitchhiking to Damian's mom's place, Dave's drive from Release. This is the continuation of a chapter called The Writerly Crowd. It was previously called Dead Soul Landscape. We left Release for the first time 2 days ago. We were only wearing running shoes and there was snow on the ground as we got to the suburbs. There hadn't been snow in Borden. And after 4 hours of stamping and jumping from foot to foot, sticking out our thumbs when a car went by, then returning our hands to our pockets balled up or rubbing them inside our coat sleeves, we gave up, walked from the highway to a neighborhood, found a bus stop and went home. We resolved to dress better and try again the next day, which was yesterday, and here we are. Nope, higher than that. We're in a diner, the old man who picked us up earlier on one side of the table and Damian and I on the other. Damian and I glance at each other. A bishop? I ask. Nope. The old man is looking right at me. I try not to smile. A cardinal? Nope. Well, that leaves the Pope, I say. Higher than that. I look at the man. I don't know, I say. I'm the Son of God. I glance quickly at Damian, then glance away even quicker. Damian is staring into his lap, smiling, shaking, and trying not to laugh out loud. This makes me start to laugh. I turn in my seat, away from the man so he can't see my face. Next summer, I'm going to Africa, he continues. That's where I'm going to start the second coming. I nod quickly, still looking away. Cool, I croak out. We accept his offer to pay for our lunches and head back to his ancient Navy station wagon. The sun is high in the sky and the air is cool. I'm now wearing both my pairs of wool socks, 2 sweaters and long johns. What were we thinking 2 days ago when we left Release? Damian's mother lives in Louis City, about 7 hours north of Release. And the closer we get to her, the colder it gets. Gravel crunches under our feet as we cross the parking lot. It hasn't been easy getting rides. The old man is going another hour in the direction we're headed, so we'll stick with him, despite his delusional state of mind. As we're driving, he tells us about his apple farm, then casually mentions that he just got out of jail a couple of months ago. Damian and I, both in the back seat because his front passenger seat is filled with pamphlets and magazines, glance at each other. Well, what were you in for? Damian asks. Attempted murder? Damian and I look at each other again. My wife, the man adds. I look out the window. There's nothing around except farms and fields, no cars on the highway. I notice the whir of the car's wheels on the asphalt. Neither Damian or I ask for details, and he doesn't offer. He lets us out at our turnoff, though. Watch the papers next summer, he says. Africa. Much bigger than I expected. Built into a hill with stilts on one side, Damian's mother's cabin reminds me of a Hollywood bungalow, albeit an unfinished, messy one that has no heating, except for a wood stove. Still, 2 bedrooms, a living room, a kitchen, and a full bath, and it looks out on a beautiful lake. Doesn't it get cold in the winter? I asked Damian. She only heats what she needs, Damian shrugs. She says she loves it. Damian's mom is large. That's why Damian wanted to visit. She had a blood test and the tube came back half blood, half straw-colored loop. Her doctor said she'd have a heart attack if she didn't start looking after herself. First time I hear Shirley speak, I understand why she has a radio show. Round, low, and langoriously sexy. You'd never guess that that voice came out of this limping, panting woman with the stringy gray hair and shapeless dress. I guess her body acts like a bass drum. Does she carry the wood into her house herself? I asked Damian. Doesn't seem possible that she can carry wood from the back pile up the stairs. Someone comes and cuts it for her. Maybe he brings some in each time. Damian shrugs again. Shirley fishes packages out of a large top opening freezer, pierogies, French fries, chicken wings. Shirley, are you sure you should be eating this stuff? Damian doesn't call his mom either. They address each other as if they're friends. You will notice the size of my portions and the fact that I eat vegetables, she says, and it's true. At supper, she doesn't eat a lot of French fries and includes a pile of frozen peas and carrots on her plate. Damian asks Shirley if she's heard anything from Terry. That's my older brother, he turns to me. He went out west 5 years ago with his band. He pauses. They were all drinking pretty heavily and weren't doing many shows anymore. No, says Shirley, neither have Chris or Sheldon. Chris is Damian's younger brother, and Sheldon, his dad. These two I know already. Damian has talked about them. How's Chris? Damian asks. Chris was in jail a few months ago. His band climbed onto a Concord rooftop and started playing, refusing to stop until the police broke down a door and arrested them all. This glamorous rock and roll rebellion dazzled me when Damian told me about it, but now, when Shirley says something about Chris's drinking and hoping he's not going to turn out like Terry, I look from her to Damian to her again. Shirley is on the CBC. She's been doing her morning talk show for almost 20 years. Damian's father began a Northern Ontario workers' rights newspaper in the 60s and ran it for 20 years before folding it up. Both of Damian's parents wrote porn when they were young. Writing anything was better than having to take another kind of job, Damian had said. I thought of Damian's parents, Damian and Chris, as almost godlike. But now, hearing about the older brother and seeing how Shirley lives alone, secluded, far from amenities and precariously, really, godlike or demon possessed.